So here are some general tips. Definitions. I think I saw stuff in the Q&A or slide I pulled just then about definitions. Compared to some of the other sciences, if you do the other sciences, there's less emphasis on knowing definitions. Like you can write your definitions, and I definitely had like some definitions in my notes and stuff as well. So I'm not saying like never memorize a definition. Like definitions are fine. But just understand that, again, compared to some other subjects, you're not really going to be asked like what is da-da-da. It's more so processes. And you'll see that as we go through this kind of stuff, you'll often be asked to explain and to apply. I say this to my students when I tutor psych, like application is everything. All of the questions, if you look at a BCAR exam, it's all, this is the scenario, you know, apply the content that you know to this scenario. And that's something that psych is very specific about as well. You have to refer to the name when you're answering the short answer. You know, you can have this whole kind of broad cover of content, like broad concept, you know, that's being addressed in the question, but it may just be a specific part of that. And that's all you need to refer to. It's this idea of application. So that's the most important part. So actually understanding concepts, understanding processes, that's something that you should prioritize a little bit more than, you know, I'm going to memorize all the definitions of these and then go into the exam. If you don't understand how the definitions or the processes tie in together, then there's no point, if that sort of makes sense. So in saying that, practice questions are really, really, really helpful. With psych, there's a lot of multiple choice questions. Again, a lot of them are application. So practice questions are really helpful, and you just get a lot of exposure to different scenarios essentially. So that's really, really important. Creating your own resources as well. This can be helpful, especially for memorization. I know some of the things that we addressed before were about issues with memorizing content and like being worried about memorizing content. Part of that is essentially memorization or understanding, and creating your own resources. Obviously it's a little bit more effort, but that can kind of drill stuff in your head a little bit better. So obviously you have like handwriting your notes, you have even making your own practice questions. If you've got a couple of friends in your class, collaborate with them. You know, you can create practice hacks and stuff like that and share them around. Again, I know it sounds like a lot of effort, but you can just write like 4 questions, swap them with your friend, and then, you know, you've got 8 questions there. And if you do that with multiple people, then you can get some more as well. And it just requires a very deep level of thinking if you're creating your own questions. If you're creating a question to quiz your friend on, you need to have very kind of thorough and deep understanding of what you're going to ask them about. And that's helpful as well, of course.